No amount of training can prepare you for this. It's time for a radio beatdown. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This is the Ultimate Fight Show, your source for all things MMA. Now, let the damage begin.
It's the Ultimate Fight Show, live on 740 The Game, brought to you by PokerVT.com, Oxygen4Energy.com, and Tiger Martial Arts Longwood. The Ultimate Fight Show is your source for all things mixed martial arts. We have up-to-the-minute news. We are discussing everything that's being talked about in the sport today, and we bring you a different fighter that you can call and talk to every week. I'm your host, Dave. I'm joined, as always, by new guy, Bri. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
We have a special guest in the studio. Ben, tell me if this sounds familiar.
Killa Bee Saunders. Davis knows he has to clear himself from this dangerous Saunders clinch. Yeah, Saunders is really nice with those knees to the body. And he got that clinch again. He loves that clinch. There's that reach of Saunders. Before Davis could get inside, he ate a jab. Good knees though by Saunders. Saunders landed some very nice knees. Saunders we saw him do that to Brandon Wolf. Devastating knees in that fight. Devastating knees. Oh, Davis is down. He's out. Saunders is out. It is all over. Ben Saunders. He said he wanted to be the first guy to stop him, and he did it. He does it with a vicious knee. Ben Saunders defeats Marcus Davis.
Saunders. What do you think of that, man? I know that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Tell me how that felt, man.
Well, man, to be honest, to fight somebody that that's pretty much in the ranking and beat him the way I did was pretty much a dream come true, man.
I'll tell you what, it was a dream come true for the fans too, man. Welcome to the Ultimate Fight Show on 740 The Game. I actually became a big fan of yours watching you on Season 6 of The Ultimate Fighter. I knew you were going to go far in the UFC. We even had you out at the store to do that autograph signing. You had a bunch of fans that turned out for that wanted your autograph, and that was before you destroyed, what was his name, Brandon Wolf. You already had a whole bunch of fans. So first of all, congratulations on that you're doing so good, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So you are actually slated to fight Martin Kampmann next. I truly think that's a bad matchup for Kampmann. If you go in there as aggressive as you did with Davis, I see you ending Kampmann's night in the first round, man.
Yeah, man. Hopefully that's exactly how it goes. But he's a tough dude. I actually, ironically, look at him the same way as I look at the Davis fight. He's never been knocked out. He's been TKO'd, but he has never been out. And that's definitely my number one priority.
I'll tell you what, he is a tough guy. It just doesn't seem like a real good matchup for him. We're going to talk more about that later. We will get into that fight. We're also going to get into some of the cards that are getting set up right now. If you want to call and add your opinion, or if you want to talk to Ben Saunders, give us a call at 407-916-8255 or toll free at 1-800-729-8255. You can also go to our website at theultimatefightshow.com. You can enter the chat room at the top of the page if you'd rather chat, and I'll read your questions over the air. That's theultimatefightshow.com. Okay, so we already recapped. Last week we did the UFC 108, which was Silva versus Evans. We pretty much recapped that one for you. Let's go ahead and focus on the future. For Rashad Evans, Rampage Jackson is up next. I'm told it's scheduled for UFC 114. And that's over Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be a monster fight, and I think they intend to bring back the UFC primetime to build that one. What do you think of that, Brian? Who do you like in that fight?
You know, after Rashad's last performance and after watching Rampage knock out some of the guys the way he's knocked them out, I think Rampage has got the edge in the stand-up. I think Rashad maybe has a little edge in the wrestling department. But the bottom line is these guys hate each other. They genuinely hate each other.
It's gonna be fun.
And no matter what happens, doesn't make a hill of beans what I think. These guys are going to go at it, man. And that's always something that I look forward to seeing.
You know, I don't know who I like better as far as, which fighter I like better, but I'm picking Evans for that fight. I just can't see Rampage getting over Evans. What do you think, Ben? Who do you like in that fight, or what do you think Rampage has to do to win that fight?
I mean, he definitely has really good takedown defense, so Rashad's going to have a hard time taking him down. His stand-up is obviously his way to winning the fight, in my opinion. Him getting Rashad down and keeping him there is probably not going to happen. And he definitely has knockout power, so I'm going to actually have to give the slight edge to Quentin on this, especially because I think he actually does hate Rashad more than Rashad even cares to hate him. So,
well, I doubt that Rashad's going to go in with the same game plan that he went in with Thiago. You could tell with Thiago he wanted to get him down and he wanted that fast, but I don't see that happening with Rampage. I see him kind of standing up and picking his spots like he did with Forrest, but who knows, man. Now on that card also you had Thiago Silva. I don't think he's going to get hurt too badly by his loss. He made it exciting in the third round. I don't think it makes sense to match him up against. I think it would make sense to match him up maybe against Rich Franklin in May. Kind of see where they're at. Another option for that fight would be Brandon Vera. What do you think? Who do you think that they should give Thiago Silva to, man?
I like to see Rich Franklin in the octagon anytime, no matter who he's up against.
Me too. I'm a big fan of his.
I've been a big fan of his for a long time, and despite what I read on the internet and despite what I've read in other reports, he's still a contender. At any moment, he can be right up in there in the mix in either 185 or 205. And I think that if they give that matchup to Silva, I think Silva's going to have some problems.
Yeah, I think what they were going to do is probably give him to whoever wins out of Brandon Vera versus John Jones. But I think I would rather see Rich Franklin fight him. What about you? Are you a Franklin fan?
Oh yeah, man, Franklin's awesome. For him to go to 205 is probably going to be a lot healthier for him. I'm sure he's going to feel big, strong, and in shape for that. Thiago Silva's a monster, though, man. It will definitely be a good fight if that actually happens. But John Jones, man, if he does win, that would be a fight I would love to see, is him versus Thiago.
Yeah, I think I would pick Brandon Vera in that fight. Not that I'd rather see him win, but I could I don't know. That's a tough one, though. John Jones has some power, man. What do you think about Diego Sanchez moving up in weight class? I don't know about that. I think that's some shark-infested waters up there, man.
I mean, I think it'll be fun, man. He'll definitely give a nice mix to it. I haven't looked into the reasons or details exactly to why he's done it, or if it's just the diet to maintain and stay at 55 is just too much. But he's only lost to the best in that division at welterweight. So for him to come back in the mix, he definitely can beat a lot of people. I don't think he could beat GSP, but he would definitely put on some good performances against some of the top guys.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, from a fan's point of view, I think that people are too willing, after a big loss to jump either up or down in weight class. I mean, like you said, Diego Sanchez has beat everybody in that weight class. He kind of came up against a wall with BJ Penn, but, maybe just drop back, stay back for a minute, get healthy, stay in the division, beat a couple more people, and you never know what's going to happen. I mean, they did say that the reason he wanted to do it was, like you said, for the diet. I think he's not eating enough,
Yeah. I mean, he definitely had the cardio and the mentality to keep pushing for 5 rounds of BJ Penn, which is extremely impressive. But maybe he just felt that he was lacking in some of his speed and his conditioning and his strength all around, and might feel healthier at 170. People do.
Now, also that night you had Paul Daly. He got a huge win. Dana suggested matching Daly up against Fitch or Koscheck. Which that would actually be a pretty serious test of Daly's claim that he's improved his takedown defense since he fought Jake Shields. I would rather see him fight Thiago Alves. That would be a good fight. What do you think, Brian? Who would you rather see Paul Daly get next?
I think if he goes up against Fitch or Koscheck, that's not a good way to find out whether or not you have improved your takedown defense. You got John Fitch coming out of Purdue. You got Josh Koscheck, who I believe is a 4-time All-American. Not exactly something that you just want to go there and tip your toe into that water. That's either one of those matchups are bad for Daly.
Test your skills a little bit with some of the best.
No.